Welcome to Authentic with Brazil 201. I'm your host, Brazil 201. In today's episode, we are going to talk about the movie Threesome. It stars Zoe Deutsch, Boot, Bootleg Logan Learman, Ruby Cruz, Jabuki, and Vigilante from The Arrow. It is directed by Chad Hartington, and I gotta say, I low key very much enjoyed this movie. This is a movie I saw right after a fitting for a show I'm working on, and we kind of just all went after because we had time to kill. I laughed. The theater was fairly packed for this movie. It is interesting. There's actually just like two issues with I have with this movie. It is a movie I will only see once, and people want to see it again. Sure, fine. Like I don't think it's anything special. But I think it's a very fun, interesting, original movie. In the same way, Oh Hi was, and I kind of like these new takes on modern rom coms. And maybe this is because, once again, this is another millennial storytelling movie and not a Gen Z love story. Because everyone in this movie, I mean, like, not just that the actors are over 30, it's that the characters are clearly all over 30. I pay attention to the date they say when their birthdays are and shit. So, my one, you know what? Let's even go. My issues I will come up as we get to them in the story. So, the movie starts off at Jabuki's wedding, and bootleg Logan Learman, whose name is Connor, is talking to Zoe Deutsch's character, who's Olivia, and apparently they banged once a long time ago, and he's like a soy boy and still obsessed with it. And he's a music engineer in Arkansas, which, by the way, the Arkansas aspect of it is my main issue with the movie because okay, so Jabuki's a gay black guy who's married and owns a bar in Arkansas. Connor, bootleg Logan Lerman, is a musical engineer in Arkansas. And by the way, none of them have like a white trash Southern accent at all. Okay, uh, Zoe Deutsch's character Olivia is coded like a girl who works in Long Island. And the only character that truly codes as like a southern character, she may not have the accent, but she does have the religious element because her character is meant to be like some type of Methodist. Is Ruby Cruz's character, who is Jenny, and we meet her later in the movie. So what happens is Connor gives this crazy wedding toast, and Olivia is like, "I'm leaving. I have to go back to work," because Olivia works for Jabuki's restaurant, and it's something about Gandhi, and it's one of these bullshit wedding toasts that no one's really going to remember. But for whatever reason, we'll spoiler or whatever. We'll go back to this later because we're going to follow the order of it. Wedding happens, then we time jump 2 weeks right after the honeymoon, and Connor goes to Jabuki's restaurant and he sees that Olivia's working, and Olivia is talking to a guy, and is talking to Vigilante from Arrow. You know, he always plays the bad guy in everything he's in. Like, it's just weird how he's always the bad guy. He's the bad guy in She-Hulk. He's the bad guy in Abbott Elementary. He's the bad guy in Arrow. It's just very funny that he plays the same character nonstop. Look, I get it. I'm also typecast. I always get typecast as a quasi-racist white guy who is rich and obsessed with Ozempic. That is called not really acting. Um, anyway, so what happens is Jabuki is telling bootleg Logan Learman that, yo, you gotta stop being obsessed with her. It's kind of creepy. By the way, Jabuki's character is very funny in this. It just feels like it's just Jabuki, and I feel like Jabuki just wrote all his own lines and is improving it the entire time. And he's like, "You're obsessed. Where's your post nut clarity?" And then he points to this other girl. He's like, "Yo, that girl right there. She just got stood up on our Tinder date. You should go talk to her." And he's like, he does go talk to her, and they hit it off. And and then we see, oh shit, Olivia's jealous, and then Olivia goes to the table and goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. Is this guy bothering you? I hope you know he's wanted for sexual harassment in 12 states." And they laugh, and then they all like are kind of flirting, and they go to a club, which is also a weird thing. Clubs exist in Arkansas. mind you, all these okay, well, Olivia and Connor are 30 or 31, and Jenny is, I want to say, 25, 26. Like, she's still on her parents' health insurance. And by the way, health insurance is like a key aspect of this movie that felt very realistic. They do this, they have fun at the club, and that dance dance da 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 song is like playing in the club. Then they're back at Connor's place, and what's it called? She goes to well, yeah, what is it? Yeah, Jenny goes to use the bathroom, and then Olivia and Connor are making out, and Connor's still like a simp, and Olivia's like, maybe she wants to join us. This is like, what do you mean, together or like separate? And then Jenny comes out and she's like, "Can I join you?" And then the threesome scene happens, and it's great. Good for Connor. He fucked two hot women. Yeah, Connor. Then it's the morning after. Olivia's gone. Left a note. He wakes up with Jenny, and he's like trying to make tea. And then Jenny is like, "I'm gonna go shower. Do you want to join me?" And then yeah. And then she leaves. They have sex, and she leaves. Connor goes to their local coffee shop where he sees Olivia eating a bagel. And then Connor's talking to Olivia, like, "Why did you leave? We just had sex." And Olivia's like, "Look, yeah, you just fucked too hot, bitch. I just like suck. We both sucked your dick," and the whole people next to them are fucking laughing. And then Connor's like, "I want to take you on a real date. Let's try this." And then Olivia's like, "You can buy my breakfast. That's kind of like a date." And then Connor's like, "No, I wanna, you know, go on a real date with you." And then they go on a date, but then it has to end. She can't go because she has to babysit her sister's kids. So they do that instead. And then what happens is a montage of them dating, and it's happy, and the standard rom-com thing. Then what happens is Connor finds a pregnancy test in the bathroom, and he's like, "Oh shit." And now, mind you, in this thing, they've been it's been 5 weeks, like, since they're dating, 5 or 6 weeks. So I guess he's been not using a condom. Which, once again, this is the key thing with this, and I do not know. Maybe this is because people on the East Coast are cultured differently, right? I don't trust when women say they're on the pill or on a shot or they have an IUD, whatever. Because I think you could just think about that. You're stuck for life, right? Because the abortion law things are a key aspect of this movie, but you know, if you ever have sex without a condom, ever, or you think the condom broke, now maybe in the South it's hard to get day after pills. I do not know, but I do know at least on the East Coast you can Amazon it. Blah blah blah. It right. Take the day after pill. Okay, it's best to drop the $50 now, and you're good. Okay, if you're not going to use a condom, this is like the smartest thing you can do. The worry is gone. Like a day after pill is like a nuclear explosion happening in the girl's body. Make sure she's never pregnant. Okay, but then Olivia has this conversation. He's like, "Oh, don't worry, I can get rid of it. It's early enough. I can go get the pill or whatever." And this is an aspect I didn't know this movie was taking place in Arkansas, because like I don't notice the license plates or anything with it, because none of them seem like Southern religious people, right? None of them are coding Republican, right? They're not coding like new MAGA or old MAGA. They're just kind of coding as like professional class type people, basically like Long Island Democrats, or like a suburb outside New York or New Jersey. That, like, this is how everyone on this movie is coding. None of them are coding like they're in some very Republican area in Arkansas, right? I'm not seeing the guns. I'm not seeing Confederate flags. Like, I'm not seeing the stereotypical like Trump voter type things, right? Because this movie takes place in 2025 or 2026. Um, but Connor's like, "What if we don't get rid of it? What if we do this together?" You know, and they're both 30, but like he's like, I gotta realize this bitch is a waitress, okay, and he's a musical engineer in Arkansas. And now I guess because he owns his own place, I guess, and his mother lives in. This is also the weird aspect. His mother also lives in the same town. I'm very confused as why they all still like live in Arkansas. Like, if he was a good music engineer, he would be ending up in like New York, New Jersey, North Carolina, or LA. But whatever. On that aspect of this movie. So then we get our title called First Trimester. And Yeah, they're eating. Then, as Olivia and Connor are walking home from a date, Jenny is there. And Jenny's like, we need to talk. And Jenny's like, I'm pregnant. Oh shit, he got them both pregnant from the threesome. And then we learn, right, is that, but Olivia's like, no, he used a condom with you. I was there. And then Jenny says, not in the morning. And she gets mad. What do you mean, not in the morning? And then Olivia realizes, you fucked her right before you asked me out. And there's the whole thing. And then Olivia's like, why didn't you get rid of it yet? And then Jenny has this whole thing. It's like, what do you mean get rid of that? First of all, it'll not your business. Okay. And we kind of learn Jenny is very religious. Like her whole thing that she did on it was an act. She comes from a very religious Methodist family, pro life, life begins at conception type person. And Olivia's angry because she's like, fuck this. I'm not going to have your baby with a side chick baby about mama. Okay? This isn't happening. I'm getting rid of it. Goodbye. And then Olivia fucks Vigilante. She goes over. She's like, I'm pregnant. And Vigilante is a guy who's been cheating on his wife. But apparently Vigilante has had a vasectomy. So, like, he always doesn't use a condom. And Vigilante then fucks Olivia. Right? Because Olivia's like, I'm going to get an abortion in the next week. Okay, so you can nut in me all you want. So, Connor's mad. And he's also freaking out. And we get this whole thing. And then Olivia calls Connor. He's like, I need you to Venmo me money or PayPal me for the abortion. Now, this is because they have to go to Illinois since they're in a state where they can't get abortions. And they have to drive to Illinois to get the abortion. Now, this is the aspect I keep forgetting because, once again, this is because I assume because Olivia's a waitress, she has to obviously make not enough money. I'm like, oh, she could be on Medicaid, but she's also not in the state. But this is the intellectual. I mean, like she could be in a Medicaid expanded state, right? But then I remember, I don't think Medicaid. I think only covers abortion in like Democratic states, and this is the whole thing. But there's probably no Planned Parenthood. But yeah, okay, they could get the abortion, right? And he's like, fine, I'll do it. And then Connor made an abortion mixtape. So he drives Olivia to Illinois to get the abortion, and he's just there. And I guess Olivia begins to have like regrets about it, and they have this whole fight. And then Olivia should have got rid of it. This is the whole thing. They can't afford a kid. Okay, you should have got rid of it. And Olivia backs out of the abortion. She asks Connor, "What about?" She's like, "I don't think you'll regret it, but whatever." Then we go, it is second trimester. So Connor is taking Jenny to the OBGYN, but Jabuki comes with, and Jenny makes this funny comment. So do you always like bring an extra person? And it's fun to see like that dynamic. And then what ends up happening is so Connor's at the ultrasound with Jenny, and then Olivia comes, and the doctor is like, "Oh, did you forget something?" He's like, and then he's like, "Wow, you're the baby daddy to both," and it's hilarious. And then what happens is they're just like always angry because Olivia hates what's it called? Olivia hates Jenny, and Jenny's upset because she's like, we're raising twins, okay? We should be in each other's lives. I don't know why you hate me, okay? But Jenny's not telling her parents the truth that she's not going out with Connor and things like that. And Olivia's just mad because, like, that baby's always going to be a part of your life. And then, plot twist, right? Vigilante comes over, and he sees that Olivia's super pregnant. He's like, holy shit, I thought you got rid of it. And then Olivia's like, no, I didn't. He's like, why, you don't have to worry. It's not yours. And then he's like, I don't know. I lied about getting a vasectomy. So then we have like this, oh shit. So they have to get a prenatal DNA test. We time jump again to they're both about to go into labor. Now we as a viewer think it's crazy because like Olivia's about to go into labor. And then we get 5 minutes later, right? Jenny is going into labor. And they're at the same hospital. And Jenny's parents see this, and he's like, you knocked up 2 women? And, like, Connor gets his ass beat. Very hilarious. Then Olivia gets the phone call, which is great, that Connor's not the father of her baby. Good shit, Connor. You don't have to pay 18 years of child support on that one. It's not. They got the legal thing on it. And then Olivia tells Connor, and Connor just like heartbreaks and doesn't want to talk to Olivia anymore. Valid point. He doesn't have to do anything with her life. That's not his kid at all. And he's already got the other chick that's pregnant. That is his kid. So he goes to the birth of Jenny's kid, named, what is it, Fiona, right? Because they love Shrek 2 or whatever bullshit. And then Olivia has to give birth just with her sister and by herself. And then we kind of time jump again. And it's, interesting. And then what happens is that I guess Julia and Olivia are kind of like friends secretly. They have this conversation at the hospital, right? Because like Jenny finds out that Olivia's, that Connor's not the dad, and like, oh, we don't have to be in each other's lives. But then Olivia's like, don't we need mom friends and stuff like that? And we kind of have the same experience and things like that. Very adorable. So then we time jumped, I guess, a month later, whatever. And, Connor's babysitting the baby. And I guess Olivia runs into Jenny, and Jenny invites Olivia over, and she goes inside. And Connor hasn't spoken to Olivia since, and he wonders what you named the kid. And he's like, Alice, which is really fucked up because that's what Connor wanted to name his daughter, and that's not his daughter. And for whatever reason, they get back together, and that makes zero sense. I just want to say, Connor should not want to deal with the damage of that. I overall enjoy the movie. I love Zoe Deutsch. Great eyebrows. She looked beautiful in it. I've never seen Ruby Cruz in anything before. I think she's great. She looks cool. So shout out to her. I've also never seen bootleg Logan Lerman in anything before, so that was an interesting choice. Go see this movie. I enjoyed it. I think it's fun.